I'm so excited. Today is going to be such a fun day. If you don't know, I'm a huge fan of all things Blizzard and have done a few cosplays from them now. But today, I get the opportunity to go to Blizzard Entertainment's headquarters. Thank you, Wizard, for helping to set this up. And I can't wait, so let's take an hour-long Uber there. Haha. And as tradition states, everyone must take a picture in front of the orc statue when visiting the Blizzard headquarters. So of course I had to partake in that. I then met up with my personal tour guide, Eric.
I'm Eric Elliot. I'm one of the PR managers here at Blizzard. This is our main campus, these three buildings. This is the World of Warcraft development building, as well as like the main executives are here.
And first up on this tour was to see what was currently on display in their art exhibition. And this is something that changes out a few times a year, which includes a ton of artwork and sculptures and competition winner pieces for all things Blizzard franchise. And it also showcased what the service awards that the employees actually get for working for the company.
If you're here for 2 years, you get this beautiful Stein, which was designed by Samwise Didier, who used to be a very kind of influential artist on World of Warcraft and various other games. At 5 years, you get a sword, which is a proper, true sword. Like, people will do sword ceremony videos where it's like them posing. There's people that have like chopping wood with it, and it's crazy. 10 years, you get this really cool shield. At 15, you get to choose a different size ring. And then at 20, you get the crown.
We then headed off to our next building, which actually included their campus cafeteria, and went on to our first statue of Tracer from Overwatch, and proceeded into the World of Warcraft designated building to see where all of that team worked. Side note though, I wasn't allowed to film anything in this room. Sad day, but it was really, really cool. And then the next area had 3 more huge, amazing statues. One was, of course, Lilith, who I have studied this statue so much for creating my personal cosplay, and it was so cool to see the statue in actual daylight and not the dark shadows of BlizzCon. And she sat in the same room as Illidan from World of Warcraft, and it was really cool to notice just the evolution of the artist team who created both of these statues, looking specifically at their wings to see how the Illidan statue, those wings, which is a much older statue, had transitioned to the Lilith statue version of wings. So for someone with an artist background, I was just fixating over this. And the last statue that was in this room was Jim Raynor from StarCraft 2. And I'll note that all of these statues meant a lot to me because I've actually met the artist and the team who created all of this, and to see their work in life, just to relive all of those moments of meeting the actual artist, which was Steve Wang and his team at Onyx Forge Studio. And then back into another NDA room that I couldn't show you, but it was cool to see all of the work environments. Each person customized their spaces so uniquely with tons and tons of Blizzard statues and pops and art. Then off to the next zone, which had more statues. One of Tyrael from Diablo, and of course another Tracer from Overwatch. And it was cool to see the Tyrael statue again because I saw it once at my first BlizzCon in 2023, but was informed from Eric that it probably will not go to another BlizzCon convention as the statue has over the years become a bit more fragile and harder to transport. So this may be the last time that I get to see it. Oh, and also there was the Jaina statue from World of Warcraft, which I spent a hot minute here staring at all of the fabric details. She is on my list of potentially cosplaying in the future, so I will probably come back and stare at this statue a lot more down the line. But one of the rooms that I actually was allowed to film in was their library, and this library was pretty cool. It had pretty much every single book that Blizzard came out with, all of the art books, the cookbooks. It was fun to see just where all of the employees like to come and hang out, and I was told that they actually will sometimes book the room for after hours to do D&D game nights. It was cool to see the artwork they had everywhere with the Blizzard stuff and to see their concept art of maybe one day having a Blizzard amusement park. We can all hope that one day it'll come true. And then up to the very last area on this tour, to the second floor. But first we stopped by this amazing armor build of Reinhardt from Overwatch. This actually was a cosplay that was donated to Blizzard. And the last part of the tour was more on the Overwatch department, which was really cool. I got to film a tiny bit in this space, but still most of it was NDA. But it was cool to see that they had so much art on all of the walls. They had a lot of the voice actors and the artists had signed their characters and had displayed some of the fan art that was sent to Blizzard. But I think one of the parts that I found the most interesting was actually they had all of these weird objects on display, which had the character's name and a description of what that object was used for recording a sound for that character. And it was just interesting to see the creativity that the sound team used to bring to life certain sound effects and character noises. I had so much fun. This was the most fun I've had in such a long time, just getting to see all Blizzard things. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much to Eric for giving me a wonderful tour around all of Blizzard and behind the scenes and just talking to me about things, and I loved it. It was fun. Thank you. Some of the biggest highlights were actually getting to see some of their behind the scenes on like sound, which one of the cool parts was actually a shoe with pennies, which was how they made some of their sound effects for things, as well as getting to see all of the fan art that people have sent in over the years, and talking about how they're constantly changing all of their interior spaces so that way it has the most latest artwork and stuff, working with other people. And then of course seeing all the statues. I've been to one BlizzCon before and I've gotten to see parts of them, but the lighting was not always the best. So here, being able to be up close and see each statue and all of the details, it was so cool. And then got to see some of the sound booths and see some NDA things, which was cool, but I can't talk about it, so you'll have to wait for that to all come out at some point. And then ended up the tour with going to their cafeteria and having a little bit of lunch before catching my Uber back to LA. But overall, it was a wonderful time, and this was so much fun. I am so grateful to have this opportunity to go and see the holy mecca for me, which is all thing Blizzard. So yeah, but thanks guys for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Much love guys.